Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Realty Funnels Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Cahill, and I'm honored and delighted today to have Ricardo Ortiz Cazarin, who is with Cazarin Interactive. He is a marketing specialist. He focuses on a lot of different industries, but we're in real estate. Everyone in real estate knows that you need to market in order to grow your client business and to increase your income. And so I wanted to ask Ricardo to share some of his insights with us today. Ricardo, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, Kevin. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share some of my knowledge in your podcast.
Well, it's my pleasure too. So thank you. Ricardo, why don't we start by having everyone get a little sense of who you are and your backstory, how you came to the United States as a high schooler and how you got to where you are right now as a marketing specialist.
Yeah, wonderful. So I'm the oldest of three kids who was born in Mexico City. And early on, I loved English. I started to learn English when I was in sixth grade. And I went to one of the best high schools. My father was an entrepreneur, and he had several companies in Mexico and sent me to the best high school. And somebody came to talk about spending 1 year in either Canada, Germany, or the United States. And I said, I want to go to the United States, And so I came, and the rest is history. That's how I ended up being an exchange student in Minnesota. And the family that I came to be with loved me, and I loved them. And they said, why don't you become a Golden Gopher? And I was like, yeah. And so I applied and became a Golden Gopher.
And you've been in the marketing business for how many years now?
Well, I think my personality has always been sales and marketing, but my degree was in computer science and information systems. So I could program computers, understand software very well, capabilities of machines. And once I started working, I was in sales in software, and my employer said, if you want to go back to school, I'll pay for it. So I was like, okay. So they paid for my master's at Carlson from 91 to 93, and I did my focus in marketing. And so that's when I got my very good knowledge in marketing, but I was doing sales of software and stuff like that. Yeah. And so to answer your question, I graduated in 1993, started Cazarin Interactive, my own company, in 1998, and have been doing since then. So about 27 years.
And tell me a little bit about, the vast types of clients, the different sectors that those clients are in, the different types of marketing programs that you help them implement.
Sure. So Cazarin Interactive started as a web design company. That was how it started initially. And this was 1998. The internet was coming in. Nobody could grasp what this was, but I knew every company was going to need a website. So it was very easy to sell a website at the time, especially because everybody else was having, those textual websites with one photo. And I knew, because I knew marketing, I knew this was a marketing job. This didn't belong with programmers. So I took a marketing approach to a website. Today is obviously very obvious, but at the time it wasn't. So our websites were unique. And that's how we started, and so from there, Cazarin Interactive became a branding agency in 2002, 2003, because there was the internet bust. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, sure.
All the stocks fell down. Nobody wanted to do with the internet. Yeah, that the bubble burst, and so we became a brand agency, and we survived by my nails. And then we started doing large projects in e-commerce in 2005, 2006. And then we got another bubble, another bust, right? The world economy.
The credit market collapse, September of 2008.
And at that point, I figured out this. I figured every company was letting go of their marketing people, and and I knew companies still needed marketing for their work. So I created Marketing Fusion, which was getting marketing on a monthly revenue, paying a fraction. So call it, let's say a fraction CMO, and so that became really good because it gave me a continuous revenue and stabilized my company. And from there, we became a digital agency. So we do marketing on an ongoing basis for organizations in manufacturing, property management, and technology mainly.
And the property management, I know a lot of our podcast listeners are real estate agents who work with investors. They may be investors themselves. And the property management component is probably the most daunting aspect, keeping more people out of owning investment real estate, which in my opinion is one of the fastest and surest paths to wealth. So what are you seeing in that property management space where you're able to help people, have greater returns on their investment properties?
Yes. So, so what happens is, many of these property managements, what they are doing is they are having this to pay for the property and gain that wealth. But there's not a lot of margin on the managing the property. So, so what we have done is create efficiency and productivity. And in fact, we are about to launch a robot with AI and maintenance engine software where you will be able to take calls 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and take calls on my refrigerator is not working, my sink is plugged, and be automated and provide all of these, the ability to take these calls and then send them to either a vendor or an internal employee for support, maintenance and support. But my clients tell me that, a large percentage of the calls or they get busy is taking those calls from renters who are complaining about something or who need some kind of support, who need a receipt, who need something. If we can automate that, we just save them a lot of money,
Yes, and it makes the whole concept of investing in real estate more exciting, and it also makes it more scalable because no longer are they hindered by their timeline and their ability to service their properties when they can use AI to speed up so many components of that. And also on the renter's timeline, if they can do it 24/7, then no longer is that property owner getting disturbed at 11 o'clock at night on the weekend about a slow drain or a leaky toilet. It'll go to the AI. The AI will just start working behind the scenes, allowing that property owner to enjoy a better life while still growing their wealth through real estate.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you're obviously leveraging AI, both in building out these bots and also the marketing. Talk a little bit about what you see on the horizon with AI and in that space and how it might impact, especially since we're talking to real estate agents, how might real estate agents be able to leverage AI through agencies like Cazarin Interactive?
Well, I'm going to answer your question with a little something different. I'm going to answer your question, but I'm going to start by saying this. To be good in real estate and in a professional life, you need to know your strengths. You need to know what you're good at. If you don't like to be bothered, whatever, real estate might not be it, right? So you better be good. Know that you can take calls. That sometimes you're going to be working on Sundays and Saturdays and evenings and whatnot. And if you make a decision to be in real estate, great. The next thing I will do is to carve a niche, whether it's a suburb, like I know a very good realtor. He became actually like a friend, and he would only sell in Plymouth. And Plymouth, it has 74,000 inhabitants. It's a suburb in Minneapolis, and he only sells in Plymouth. So, but he markets himself as the best realtor in Plymouth, and he knows everything about Plymouth. So anybody who wants to buy into Plymouth or wants to sell out of Plymouth, he becomes number one. So a way to differentiate yourself, and then the next thing is to make yourself efficient and productive, and carve the lifestyle that you want to do. Try to do those things that you would like to do, and then automate those things that you don't, or delegate them, because life is short, Kevin, and you need to do whatever you can to have an enjoyable time, So,
and it's all about priorities. It's about, staying in your strength zone, as you mentioned. And I created Realty Funnels really to solve my own problem, where I had 14 or 15 different software subscriptions running my business. And the challenge I faced was that I just couldn't get everything to go as quickly and as efficiently as possible, but I was always striving for greater efficiency. And what you were talking about a minute ago, which is, if there's something that you can automate, well, then go ahead and figure out a way to automate it. Anything that needs to be done more than once with robotic precision, figure out a way to automate it. And if it can't be automated, then figure out a way to delegate it.
Yes.
And then you're left with those things that only you can do. Mm-hmm. And you're also, for a lot of real estate agents, left with a lot of things that you probably don't need to do.
Correct.
And so you go ahead and eliminate any of that stuff that you really don't need to do, so that you're leveraging automations and workflows, you're delegating to people who are in their strength zone supporting you. And then you're in your strength zone servicing your clients. And as you were saying, they're going to call and call you during evenings and weekends. And that's just typical for real estate agents. And yet they're our clients. And that's why we're in business. Right. So anything you can do to make your time more enjoyable, so that you're available when they call you and you're enjoying your life when you're not on call.
Yes. So it's balancing and making your life the best possible for you.
Absolutely. And so you're servicing a lot of different industries. And what do you see as some of the commonalities across marketing, whether it be frequency or the marketing message or the advertising channel? What are you seeing as some of those insights that you've gleaned over all these years?
Well, I have seen a lot of things, but I can tell you that the clients who are most successful will be those ones who are persistent and who understand a narrow window of something. Like I said before, that niche, like my friend who went into Plymouth, or somebody who says, no, I only deal with mansions. Okay, so then you carve mansions, and your marketing goes to attract people who deal with mansions, and so that's the first thing that I noticed, that people who are focused is a focus that they do. And from there is people have to be personable. And I love my wife very much. And one ability she has, and she's a big executive in big companies, but she has this ability to say, I don't like what you're saying, but smiles and says, let me think about it, So that ability to listen and hear and not overreact with emotion is big, It's very hard for me because I'm very open and very direct. But my wife and people who are very successful have to listen and have to at times take it in the chin, and so be able to process. And Kevin, sometimes people are very upset, and it's not even you. It's something that happened to them, the day before, that afternoon. Their wife did something, whatever it is, and so don't take things personal.
What you were saying there earlier, to me, it really rings so true. As we see AI becoming more of an element in everything that we do, it really, and we were talking about how it helps you stay inside of your strength zone when you're able to properly leverage AI and automations and systems and delegation. I think that the most important skill for a real estate agent is to use a doctor's type of description, it's the bedside manner. For a lot of home sellers and for home buyers, the ultimate question is, do I want to hang out with this person? Do I want to go out and look at a bunch of homes with this person? Is this person going to advise me in a way that I can accept and take their advice and have it be fruitful and productive? Or does this person rub me the wrong way? And so I really think that it's a real question as we look at how we can leverage AI and how we use AI in our marketing and creating content and getting ourselves out there. Ultimately, what we're really wanting to do is demonstrate to people that we're knowledgeable, we're skillful, we're experienced, and that you'll probably enjoy doing business with me. That's sort of the message that we're really trying to get. And do you see that as an underlying element in some of your most successful marketing campaigns, that we're really just talking about the service provider themselves?
Absolutely. So yes, I will say, and this would be good advice to realtors, the more authentic you can be, the better. Being authentic and being and when I started doing business with somebody and in my sales process, I said, this is the way I work. I want to be, at times I'm going to say, I'm really good at that. And if you ask me, why want you to do this? I'm going to say, well, we can do it, but we might not be the best at that. But being authentic and direct, I think is key. I really think is key for the whole interaction, the relationship and success of that, whatever happens.
Yeah, I think for real estate agents, especially as there's, and this is not new in real estate, we've been watching Trulia and Realtor.com and Zillow providing their market valuations. I mean, a lot of consumers, they have a good sense of what their home is worth already. And yet we're looking to the real estate agent to guide them through the whole journey of getting your property ready for the market, getting your property on the market, making it look its very best, highlight it properly, show it off to the exact right buyers who might love your home. And AI isn't going to necessarily take over any of that, because really we're talking about empathy, curiosity. We're looking at wisdom from the real estate agent, knowledge, skill, ability, which are mission critical for a real estate agent to have success. And then markets shift, news happens, interest rates rise, things get in there and mess things up. So then another component would probably be adaptability as well.
Yes.
What else do you see as really important for any small business owner to have success?
Well, adaptability. I will say what AI is giving you is knowledge, right? Knowledge. And so I give you an example. I had the ownership of office condos here, and because a lot of my people went to work, and I didn't need two of them. I had two of them. I only needed one of them. And so I started researching the value of what what it was. And then how could I start asking, how could I increase the value of this place, And yes, my realtor could do that, but I'm one of those that, okay, you can tell me this, but I'm going to take your advice. But anyway, to make the story short, I sold my office condo for $50,000 more than anybody else has sold it in the complex. And that knowledge is great. And came with AI, came from understanding the market, and I had a good realtor too. So.
And I think that's often the case, that home owners and property owners, whether you have a multifamily investment property or say, for example, a storage facility or a warehouse, many of those property owners, they have a very good sense of what the property is worth. And so then they're just looking to lean on a real estate agent for some of that marketing, which is, again, one of your areas of expertise. So how did you leverage marketing to maximize the value of your office condo?
Well, I created a website. Let me see if I still, no, I turned it down because I sold but I created a website with a lot of pictures for it. So people could see it, could see what it was like before. And then I was able to negotiate 1% off from my realtor, because I was like, I'm going to help you market it. Mm-hmm. And so you need to take a percentage off. Like, he was like, okay, I'll do that. And so that saved me several $1,000s,
Sure.
And sure. So then let's see, marketing. And basically from there, that's basically what I did, the website and so forth. And my realtor did the rest. He had the engines, he had the stuff, he brought in the people. And then I was just very friendly there when the time was right, tried to make the transaction as easy as possible.
So in all of your business success, what would you say is like one of your guideposts, one of those things that you always come back to again and again, one of those phrases or philosophies that really is at the heart of your success at Cazarin Interactive?
I would say is the understanding that you are the architect of your own destiny, and how you behave, how you are, is going to dictate your future. If you cheat somebody, people are going to cheat on you. If you take advantage of somebody, people are going to take advantage of you. And there are going to be people who take advantage of you no matter what. And you just have to move on and forgive and forget and move on with the people who are valuable, So that one, and then there's another one that I learned probably in the last 7 years or so, even though I have been in business for 27. But this one is really good. When you start to understand team spirit, positive team spirit, the math doesn't work. 1 + 1 becomes 3 or 4 people. Yes. Because you enjoy working with that person and you build this. And you can produce a lot more and life becomes much more enjoyable. So hiring people that you enjoy and making sure that you help them and serve them, and they will help you and serve you, And I used to be extremely direct and cause some friction. I have learned to listen. I have learned to be like, okay, listen, I care about you, but what you're doing is not good, because of this reason. It's a matter of teaching and so forth. But that team spirit, I have protected a lot in the last 5-6 years. And it has helped me to have a much better life, to grow my company. And when I work with somebody else, with a client, I tell them about that philosophy because I wanted to team up with me, my clients.
So a combination of treating people the right way, doing unto others as you'd have them do unto you, plus synergistic relationships has been key to your success.
100%.
Now, you've also written a book, and I want to be sure to highlight that as well. Talk a little bit about the book you wrote.
Sure. And so in 2008, I went through a mystical experience, and I had this amazing revelation that I needed to help many people. And I didn't understand how and what, and everything was being developed little by little. And so the book is about to be finished, and I'm going to become a life coach person.
Great.
To help others. We are in a time in our lives where there is so much anxiety and so much fear. And so my job is to show principles that, again, you are the architect of your own destiny. Mm-hmm. And the book is called Journey to Bliss, to bring peace to yourself, to ignore all the stuff around you because it's made up out of the social media and the news. And you can just learn to shield yourself and build your own heaven on earth.
I love that. I'm looking forward to reading that book when it comes out. I have long believed that no economy, no government, no circumstance in the news is going to get in the way of me having the success that I intend to have.
100%.
Yeah. Oh, this is great. You and I could just talk all afternoon. I want to give everyone an opportunity to connect with you. What would be some of the best ways? Do you have a website that you'd like to let people know about?
Yep. People can go to www.cazarin.com. So that would be perfect. And then my LinkedIn profile is that one right there, Ricardo Ortiz Cazarin.
LinkedIn.com/in/Ricardo Ortiz Cazarin. Yes. And I want to go back to your website, Cazarin.com, and that's spelled CAZARIN.com. Correct. And if somebody wanted to email you?
Then that would be Ricardo@Cazarin.com.
Fantastic. Now, let me ask you one last question as we wrap up our time together today. If there is something that you would want to share with your younger self, something that you know now that you wish you knew when you were 20, what would that be?
That would be, that's a great question. And that would be take risks, but always know that at the end of the day, you need to have joy in your life all the time. So pursue joy. And even though you can take your risks, you need to pursue joy. So joy comes from inside because you know you're doing the right thing. And those of us who are faithful is because you are tied to God and your faith.
And I believe that joy and happiness are a choice and not a circumstance. Would you agree with that?
100%. 100% because we all have a path, or I believe we all have a path, and we're given the tools and the gifts. And then you just have to follow your path. The problem is that many people don't know what their path is.
Mm. And that's where a life coach would come in and be a huge resource as well.
Correct. 100%.
Ricardo, thank you so much for joining us today. Ricardo Ortiz Cazarin, just an absolute pleasure to talk with you today. Thank you so much for being with us on the Realty Funnels podcast.
My pleasure, and look forward to having an awesome relationship with you, Kevin.
Oh, thank you. Same here. I appreciate it.